The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 271. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on the show today. She is the founder of ShuQi Communications, and I'm just really excited to have her on here and share her story about self-confidence and her tips. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to ShuQi Liu. ShuQi, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Thank you, Sheena, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is ShuQi Liu. I'm a millennial entrepreneur from sunny Singapore. In May 2014, I founded a boutique public relations outfit called ShuQi Communications. At that time, I really wanted to help female entrepreneurs share their success stories with the media, but there were very limited opportunities, especially in Asia. Most times, they were glamorized in female magazines, which were mostly revolving around beauty and fashion. 2 years later, in February 2016, I thought I could change things up by starting my own e-magazine for modern women who were smart and wanted honest, intellectual, and minimalist content to support their relentless pursuit of success. In June 2016, Doyenne.sg went live with the support from mentors, business advisors, team members, interviewees, and readers. We've been steadily gaining traction and hope to become a global publication with an Asian perspective in the near future.
Awesome. That's an amazing thing that you've started. And ShuQi, what's your cultural background?
I grew up in Singapore all my life, went to local schools, and finally pursued a double bachelor degree in Melbourne, Australia. It was definitely an eye-opening experience. I think because a lot of kids in Asia, and especially in Singapore, they went the traditional route of going to finance, accounting, medicine, and law. But when I was in Melbourne, Australia, I took up marketing and international studies, which was very different from what everyone would expect me to do. And this got me exposed to different facets of life, and I was really happy to do all sorts of crazy things, like going to Africa by myself for an internship program, being the first female international student representative on my university campus, traveling to Italy to study Italian, attending a 3-day music festival in the Gold Coast, which is pretty much unheard of in Singapore, and as well as campaigning to make poverty history in a cross-state road trip. Some of the things that I was studying at uni was like genocide and indigenous populations, which is kind of out of the world for people in Singapore. And then finally, I packed my bags after 4 years and came back to Singapore.
Thanks for sharing that. That's quite a trip. I mean, just going to Africa alone is a journey on its own. Especially for an Asian woman too, right? And I'm sure your parents were like, are you going to be okay? Are you sure you want to go alone? I know my parents would probably freak out if I told them I'm going to go to Africa by myself. So I can only imagine. But Thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
At the current state that I'm in, I think it would go by the name like stay curious and go after what gives you goosebumps. It's basically just keeping myself on the toes and constantly learning about my environments, learning about new things, and going after what gives me goosebumps is basically just going along with the flow of my passions and just go for it.
I love it. Stay curious and go after what gives you goosebumps, because it's true. And, in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
I think confidence comes with practice. The more you push yourself out of your comfort zone to do things you're curious about, the better you get at self-confidence. And I'm saying this is because, we are very different from how we are like 10 years ago and 10 years later. And life is just going to throw us so many challenges and different scenarios. So it's really just winging it all the time and, just getting comfortable with your own skin, knowing who you are at the present moment, what your values are, and just, staying true to yourself. I think that's the most important in getting self-confidence.
Thanks for that definition. And, I do believe, like practice makes progression and it's, in anything you do, right? Whether it's trying a new sport, trying a new hobby. I mean, you get better when you have confidence because you keep on doing it. So great definition that you mentioned. And ShuQi, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I think the turning point was going to university in Melbourne, Australia. Before that, I was always in Singapore and I felt really suffocated by the competitive Asian culture because people were just always comparing with each other and proving that they're more awesome than you are or somebody else. So when I started coming back to Singapore to work after university, I was actually very overwhelmed because, it wasn't just at school that there was that competitiveness, but it was also present in the corporate culture. So it didn't matter if you were a man or woman, everyone was competing for something. And it was very stressful, and I think that just made me lose my passion to live life to the fullest. Case in point was that in 3 years, I changed 3 jobs. It was demoralizing, it was taking up all my energy, I was putting on a lot of weight. So enough was enough, so I thought I would just muster enough courage to quit it and start my own business at 26.
Thanks for sharing that. And being in an Asian family and Asian society, like the comparing game is really like prominent, right? Whether it's in school or who has the best car or who got married, like we all play this compare game. Like we feel like we have to be the best at everything.
Yeah.
We can just be ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And so what if we make a mistake or two? And so what if we screwed up? It's life. It happens to everyone. I'd rather just go out there, make some mistakes along the way than to like hide all these little skeletons in our closet, which is also like really prominent in Asian societies, right? Because they fear that, they're going to get shamed or they're going to get judged or people are going to talk about them. So what was that point in your life when you realized like you can go out there and start your own business?
I think starting my own business was another crazy thing I do in life, I think so far. It was basically just plunging to the deep end and just figuring everything out. Like how I would name my company, brand myself, put together the whole business model. I was considering a lot, like making very conservative moves, but one fine day I just got tired and just like went with my gut feel. And I think intuition is really important, which is part of self-confidence. So with my gut feel, I think I always look back at the time when I had a time of my life at university when I was just seizing the opportunities as they came my way, weighed the pros and cons, just went for it. I think I am always a risk taker. So, working back in Singapore for someone else, it kind of got lost along the way. So starting my own business was another opportunity for me to relive that risk-taking element in me. And it was very, very amazing. It was invigorating. So if I could just put it in simple terms for more people to relate to, it's really being in the present moment to enjoy things and, just going with the flow. Confidence comes with how you rise and also how you fall from unpredictable situations. Like I never imagined myself to start my own business at 26. Like it was more out of circumstances that pushed me in that direction. So we can't control the external factors, but we can control how we react and feel inside. So it's really important just go with your intuition, and they usually give you good goosebumps.
Thanks for sharing that. And, I always believe also in trusting your gut. I think, we've been programmed to like not trust ourselves. And when we have this like gut feeling, we think, maybe something's wrong, not realizing like it's leading us to the path that we're meant to be. And if we can just, like you said, take that deep plunge and just go out there and just do it, regardless of what the outcome is. I always believe, everything will take us to that right path, even if it doesn't look like it. So, because you were able to do that, take that plunge, have your own business by the age of 26, what's your life been like now?
Right now, I definitely worry a lot less. I definitely wear a smile on my face. I'm definitely more chill. I don't get like stressed out by little things which are just kind of weird if I stressed out over it right now. A lot of people enjoy working with me because I just keep a smile in the toughest of situations and I always remain very calm. Like whether it's in the professional setting or at home, for instance, like it was my sister's wedding and I had to be the games in charge of 20 groomsmen who were bashing through the door, and it was like 7 a.m. in the morning and they were yelling a lot because they were super happy and high on alcohol. And I had to like maintain like control, like making sure that everyone was like, going through the whole process of the games and not cheating, and we're keeping to time and delivering a touching wedding speech in front of like 700 people and not cry on stage and just maintain composure. Climbing a crazy mountain in Philippines with fellow hikers and not getting the right hiking gear, which is quite embarrassing, but I just summited the mountain anyways. Gaining the self-confidence to take up a yoga teaching training course when I was clueless about all the spiritual meditation stuff. Hiring and growing a team of people, which is always one of the hardest things to manage people up in authority and down as a team. And also speaking to different people, clients, suppliers, new friends, people of different age groups, embracing changes like more financial responsibilities and a growing extended family. I think it all revolves around human relationships at the end of the day. It's how comfortable you are within yourself before you step out of boundaries to meet new people. And just, enjoy the ebb and flow of things, which will always be changing all the time.
Thanks for sharing that. And I know what it's like to hike at, not even a mountain, but like a pile of rocks, and you don't have this like the right gear. But you go ahead and do it anyways. Obviously with caution, right? You have to trust in yourself that you have the ability to do it. So because I remember going down these rocks in Hawaii, and all I had was a pair of slippers, and I was like, all right, well, as long as you're careful and you know what you're doing, do it. But if not, obviously, you gotta go with caution. But sometimes we just got to be resourceful.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
That's when we can build the confidence to be like, oh, what else can I do? So great stuff. Loved what the outcomes that you've had so far. And ShuQi, to the woman who's listening to your episode, maybe she's in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
Just never stop exploring, never stop learning, and just do what makes you happy. I think at the end of the day, money can't buy everything. It's just a tool for you to get happiness, perhaps. And there's a lot of things in life which are free, like, breathing fresh air, having the time to go on a nice walk outside, not be chained to your desk. Just make sure that you're growing as a person all the time. You are changing with the circumstances around you, you're adaptable, and self-confidence will come along the way because you get to know more of who you are, like what Sheena mentioned about, being resourceful, and less of who you want to become.
Great tips. Thanks for sharing that. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yes, so it's all on the e-magazine that we started. So go check out Doyenne.sg, which is DOYENNE.sg, and we're the same profile on Instagram and Facebook.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you wanted to connect with ShuQi, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for ShuQi's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just really want to thank ShuQi for taking the time to share her journey and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sheena, for this opportunity. Thank you.
No problem. It was an honor to have you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free self-talk tape for building self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.